Hi, what's up, everybody? This is Tyler again with Massage AME. I am actually with my demo body this time. If you guys remember from the last video that we did on the triceps, this is Faith. She is also a licensed massage therapist. We are colleagues. She's been at it for a lot shorter time than I have, but I won't disclose the full details to you. But she's been very helpful, very useful. Today she's getting her quads worked on. I think she's looking forward to that. And yeah, we'll get right to it. So here we are at the anterior side of the thigh, and this is where you'd find your quadriceps. The quadriceps insinuate four heads. That's actually what it means, okay? So those are your true quadriceps, by the way, which we're about to review. There's two other muscles on the anterior compartment, and those are your wannabes, as I like to call them. So we'll start on the medial side of the thigh. This is where we find vastus medialis. That actually originates on the femoral shaft here, and it comes all the way down to the tibial tuberosity via the patellar tendon. And then we go over more anteriorly on the thigh. That's where we find rectus femoris. It's the most superficial muscle here. And, well, it's not the most superficial, but as far as your quadriceps are concerned, it starts at the os coxa, at the anterior inferior iliac spine, and it comes all the way down to that tibial tuberosity again, blending in with that patellar tendon. And then underneath that, we have vastus intermedius, so deep to the rectus femoris. That muscle, vastus intermedius, starts on the femoral shaft and comes all the way down to the tibial tuberosity, again via the patellar tendon. And then we have vastus lateralis on the outside here. It actually begins at the greater trochanter. It's a bony protrusion that you would feel on the outside of your hip here, and you probably have felt it on your clients as a therapist or what have you, patients. And again, it comes down to that tibial tuberosity via the patellar tendon. Okay. Now, the wannabes, the more superficial muscle that you have on your anterior compartment here, you're going to find sartorius. Sartorius actually begins at the anterior superior iliac spine. If you hadn't figured that out already, because if there's an inferior, there's most likely a superior as well. So anterior superior iliac spine, that bony protrusion up in here, and it comes all the way down, makes like an S shape, and you'll find it ends here and inserts on the medial side of the tibia. And then we have what's called the genu articularis. That actually begins at the distal end of the femoral shaft, and its purpose is to actually move the bursa that is found just above your patella, or the kneecap. And the purpose of that is to shift it out of the way so it doesn't get impinged in between your patella and your femur. So that's the purpose it serves. Because your quadriceps in general, right, they all extend that knee. So they all work together to perform this function and help you do it comfortably, right? Extend that leg. Extend that leg. When you're doing your kicks, right? Do that, right? Hoo-yah! So anyway, we have the sartorius muscle then, and that muscle has three functions. It does abduct. It's weak, but it does do it. It also flexes your hip, and it also provides lateral rotation for your hip as well. Think like a hacky sack. If you were to kick a hacky sack, it'd bring out your hip like that. All three of those movements. And then rectus femoris, yes, it is one of the quads that does extend your knee, but it also, because it does cross the hip joint, it does also aid you in flexing your hip as well. And that's true hip flexion right here. A lot of people get that wrong. They think flexing your hip is this way, but no, your hip flexors are in front. They all do this. So yeah, that's all of the anterior compartment muscles. Specifically, those are the quadriceps. There's only 4 of them, because that's what the name insinuates. And the other 2 guys, I just call them wannabes. So we'll get right into the body work now. So now when it comes to the body work, the anterior thigh here, our quadriceps, I want to make sure that I'm warming things up. You want to make sure that you're always attempting to do that in your session. You warm things up before you really start working into them. So how you find these quadriceps? It's pretty easy. You can actually grip them right in your hands. Obviously, you're probably not going to grab all of them, depending on the person, the size of their quads. But I like to just sort of do some rocking, do some gentle back and forth, get things going here. Compressions. And the idea here is to just loosen things up. Get the fascial layer unbound a bit more. I like doing some crosses here, some traction, so that what I'm doing is I'm actually like pushing with this hand and pushing with the other hand. There's a cross movement there, like a crisscross. And you can switch your hands up if you need to. So then we begin. Apply your medium, whatever it is you use, lotion, cream, oil. Start working into the deeper layers here, hopefully. Now, I'm going to begin by saying that I know some people like to use their thumbs. I try to discourage a lot of use of your thumbs. So I'm going to try to show you more techniques that you can use to save your tools, as it were, because your hands, right, are your tools, right? So let's focus on this panther paw, as I like to call it, your knuckles here. I'm going to start medially and work my way out laterally. Does it matter? No, but that's how I like to do it. So this is just to aid you, to give you a sense of how to work on the quads and not run out of time or lose your way when you're working on them, especially when you have those clients who like to ask for a 90-minute session and they want you to focus more on their lower body, right? So start distally, just right above the patella, the kneecap, and just work your way superiorly. And I'm not muscling this technique, okay? I want to make that clear. I'm not pushing with my arm. It's going to wear me out. I'm using my entire body. So I'm going to show you again. And I'm actually like lunging, if you will, just moving my body forward as I apply the technique, leaning into it, okay? So I'm going to move them more laterally. Now I'm on the more anterior aspect of the more ventral aspect of the thigh. I'm starting right above the kneecap, just tracing all the way up again. I like to use my other hand for support. I feel more stable. Do it that way. And then we come out laterally. I'll switch my hands here now. Using a soft fist here. And again, just leaning into it. Not pushing with my shoulders or my wrists. Don't want to wear myself out here. And naturally, you can work your way up, right? But you can also switch. You can come around to the other side and work your way superiorly to inferior. And also make sure you're being kind. Ask your client about pressure. Okay. Lighter. Make sure you always ask. Not lunging into this technique here, but I am still using my entire body. I actually am twisting with it. It's probably a little more sensitive. Feel some resistance. It's true for a lot of people. Okay, so hopefully by now we've sort of worked the more superficial layers more. If you do want to try to get deeper into this, I highly recommend the use of forearm and elbow. So I'm going to place my elbow at that medial point there, just right above the kneecap, patella. And I'm going to progress upwards superiorly. And take your time. You can move slow. You don't have to move at the same pace I am. I'm just giving you guys general concepts here. Especially if you find those trigger points. Don't be afraid to slow down and hold those. Again, I'm just moving my way out. So I started medially, moving more laterally. Keeping myself relaxed, using my entire body. Is that a little too much? No? Okay. And I'm going to switch arms here. Starting right above, patella again. Now you're going to find that a lot of people are going to be more sensitive here, okay? So be aware of that. You're going to find that the IT band is over here, the iliotibial band. It's very sensitive for a lot of people, so just be aware of that when you're working on the vastus lateralis. Hopefully, in turn, you can help move the quadriceps over a bit. You know, if people have lateral rotation in their hip, you know, their quads probably shifting out to the side more. So maybe you can help them, help get their quads stacked better again. Okay. Now, again, I was able to work distally, working more proximally or inferior to superior, but I can start superiorly and work down as well, right? So again, if I were to just change angles, work my way down. For some people, what I like to do here too is like to drop down, take a knee. Not down on both knees, I'm just kneeling down on one knee. And start as high as I can up on the greater trochanter, but then I work my way down, twisting my body. Moving with the technique, using my body weight. Oh yeah, we found ourselves a trigger point. We'll have to see if we can work that out later. Oh yeah, a lot of good stuff you can do here. And again, you know, don't be afraid to take your time if somebody, you know, wants you to work on these more. And the sartorius muscle, we can address that too, of course. When you're working on the quads, you are more or less already working on that muscle, in addition to possibly even doing some work for the genu articularis. But here's the thing. We need to get down here to the medial side of the tibia, because where it attaches to, there's three muscles that all find their way here. One being sartorius, one being gracilis, which is a posterior compartment muscle, and then also semitendinosus, one of your hamstring muscles. They all come here and they form what's called that pes anserinus, or goose foot. That's literally what it means. It looks like a goose foot. Do some work here. So you can use your fingertips, and that may be enough for some people. Just do some rocking or some friction movements here. But you may be able to apply more, and you can take your knuckles, I'm mostly using the first two, that is, and just stripping down the tibia there. So you can work on that tendinous junction. So I can tell that my person here needs the work. She definitely does. We'll have to get to that one of these days. Now, I do not recommend, though, that you apply anything deep to the tendinous region right here. Well, one, it's just uncomfortable to be working on somebody's kneecap. Don't be doing that business. But there's a soft spot right below that. You don't want to press hard into that area. Does that mean that you can't do some light friction movements around here? You certainly could, should you wish to do so, right? But do not press deeply into that area right in there. They won't like you very much, so don't do that. And then, there's that bony protrusion here. You can feel it, that tibial tuberosity. Now, we can do work up by the hip as well. My demo body here is wearing a boundary. I need to respect that, but I'm going to do a little bit of work around here just to give you an idea of what can be done, okay? So, like I said, we have the sartorius muscle, but we also have rectus femoris, okay? They come up into this region right through here, that bony part of your pelvis right through here, the os coxa, as it were, right? Don't press directly on those bony protrusions, but you can certainly get down below them, and you can certainly do some friction there. She likes it. She loves it. And it gets tight here for a lot of people. It gets very bound up. Why? Because we sit a lot. A lot of people are stuck in a hip flexion movement. Or not movement, but position, excuse me. And so, yeah, work that out, and pressing your knuckles, the panther paw, as I like to call it, into there, that may be enough. But again, you can do more. You certainly can do more. But wait, there's more, right? Those old infomercials that we used to see. So you can also put your elbow in there. I like to take a knee and just drop my elbow into it. Doesn't take much for her in particular, but address each client appropriately. If they do want more, stand up, widen your stance, get deeper into it, okay? And that way you can lean into it even more, which her body's allowing me to some extent, but I don't think I can go further than that. There's still a lot of resistance there. The great thing, too, about working here is it may actually help the quadriceps loosen up more, not be so tense. It may be a good start for some people. So just play with this, see what works for you. But hopefully this gives you some good broad concepts to work with so you can understand how to address the quads better. And not find working on the lower body so intimidating, because I find that to be true for a lot of therapists. They get down to the legs and to the thighs and they sort of lose their way. So there'll be more content on what to do even on the leg itself. Now, did we work on the anterior thigh in the supine position? Yes, we just did. Can it be done in the prone position? It certainly can, so I'll show you that as well. Okay, so here we are now in the prone position, and what I did was I moved her leg out into a figure 4 position, or you may like to refer to this as a frog leg. And this is going to allow us access to the quads, at least to some extent, because, well, there's only so much that's revealed here. The rest of her quads are going to be, facing the table, right? But we got great access here to the vastus lateralis muscle, which again starts at the greater trochanter all the way down to that tibial tuberosity, okay? We may be able to get at some of the rectus femoris details as well, but we're going to find that vastus lateralis is going to be the main event of this show. Now, for some people, you'll find that their hips may not be in proper alignment. They may be laterally rotated, or something to that effect. Maybe their pelvis tilts a certain way, and not everybody's pelvis or their thigh is going to be able to rest comfortably in this position. So make sure you do discuss that with your client. You may find that with some people, when you move out their thigh to the side like this, they can lay perfectly flat, no problem. They're super flexible. We all envy those people, maybe. But for some, this may be revealing as to some of the dysfunctions that they have, and therefore something for you to work on, right? But at any rate, let's see what we can do here. Now, again, we're on the lateral side of the thigh, so be aware that the iliotibial band is here, right? So we want to make sure we're being careful with that. The IT band, and a lot of people come in, they ask for work on that. They want work on their IT bands. What I recommend that you do, it's not really the IT bands you want to work on. This does play into the quads. It's vastus lateralis that you probably want to focus more on. Also, you want to focus more on the other muscle that surrounds it here on the other side, which would be the part of the biceps femoris, right? And the muscles that would blend into the IT band precisely, which would be your TFL, the tensor fasciae lata, and also gluteus maximus. We'll talk about that in the future. So here we go with the quads, right? Vastus lateralis, right above the knee here. Just going to work my way up. Okay. Widen your stance. And again, I'm just hanging out. I'm not muscling this. Just using my body weight, leaning into it. Be lazy as massage therapists. The lazier you are, the better it'll be for your career. You doing okay pressure-wise there? A little rough? Lighten up just a little bit. Is that better? Sorta? Even lighter, huh? Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna find that for some people too, that not every area of the muscle is going to be agreeable. You may find that some areas may be super tense on some people, and so they're super sensitive, or they may not feel anything at all. It's gonna vary. Now, we can also switch our angles here and switch up arms. I'm gonna take another knee, kneel down. Starting distally, working my way up. I'm lunging, I'm leaning into it. That may be enough for her already. But again, if people need more, just get up. Widen that stance. We got a train coming by. That's all right. Not in my line of sight, but I can certainly hear them. Now, something else I want to make sure that I tell everybody out there, tell you people, whenever you were mean, always make nice afterwards, okay? Now, I'm using mean as a loose term. What I mean is, if the work was intense for them, okay, make nice after that. Show them a little love, do some light strokes, encourage some good blood flow. So I hope you found this beneficial and gives you some more ideas of what you can do when working on legs or thighs. There will be more content to come, but I wanted to address the quadriceps mostly in this video. So there you have it. There's work on the quads there for you. I hope it helps expand your tool belt, as it were, as a massage therapist or whatever field you might be in. And so we worked both on the supine and prone position. And Faith here, definitely felt some of the work. I know you did, because your body was certainly responsive to it. Don't you find it to be true, though, for a lot of people when they get to the legs, especially early in their career, they don't always know what to do, right?
Yeah, I'm still struggling with that.
So that's exactly what the point of this video was to hopefully add on to your work and help you figure out what to do so you don't get stuck when you get to the lower body. Take your time. That's one of the biggest takeaways I can give you. It's okay to move slow, really focus on each and every muscle, feel the landscape of the body, and that will help you not feel like you're running out of time or that you got stuck on one area of the body for too long. So anyway, thank you for watching, and Faith will probably be with us again. So thank you so much.